Anyway,
Anywho,
Little off topic for today, but
slightly off topic, but that's okay because it is Fat Tuesday, and sometimes things get off topic. Ray, are you distracted? Do you have the TV on?
Hmm.
It's WrestleMania, isn't it? You fuck.
it's so fucking
I
funny.
told you you'd fucking yell at
It's
me.
so fucking funny.
You yell at Bill all the time for watching
I was
Bruins.
just
or whatever.
glancing. I was just glancing.
The Bruins are on right now. Just
Yeah, but they're
fucking-
getting murdered.
Rich is gonna yell at me. I gotta turn. I'm like, Ray, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just gonna watch TV. I hope Rich doesn't yell at me. 5 minutes into the show, you're already yelling at him.
I turned it off. Turned it off.
That's
just
why-
watch it after.
It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, you're stealing it anyways, right?
It's 2000.
No, I bought the Peacock Pass, the subscription for $4.99.
So you get WrestleMania for free?
For $4.99.
No
Is it
shit.
because it just has whatever like stupid cable channel? Is WrestleMania on USA or is wrestling still on channel 35 or where the fuck it
I
was?
think it is on
It
channel
is.
35
It is.
still.
Well done.
I had this revelation the other day. Someone was talking about. I was listening to sports radio. I think it's Felger and Mass, and they were talking about Nesson and how bad they are. And like, I just want to turn on Nesson and watch the game, and they're making it so hard. And I think it's Felger. It's like I just want to turn on 51 and watch Nesson. I was like, oh yeah, 51's Nesson.
Mhm.
34 was ESPN. 52 was Boston.
No, 49.
49.
49 is ESPN.
49.
Oh, okay. Well, that's changed since I've been there. So that was 10 years ago. A lot of things have changed. You know what hasn't? Red Sox are good, or maybe it has.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition. The Red Sox, are they good? Question mark. April 13th. Welcome to the show. Do you think Fenway has white? Do you think Fenway has craft beers that are not Sam Adams?
They do.
No.
They do, yeah.
No, they don't.
No, Gillette does. Never mind. I take it back. I haven't been to Fenway in like 5 years because that baseball stadium looks like a steaming pile of horse shit.
White Birch Brewing belongs in the steaming pile of horseshit cathedral because that's how good it is. White Birch Brewing out of Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Tap rooms open. Flights are pouring. Pints are pouring. They got hats just for you, not for your friends. They got other merchandise. They got
Shirts, hoodies. I believe they still have, what are those girls wear nowadays?
bras.
Nope.
Titties,
Nope. The belly
Panties?
shows? Belly shows?
banana hammock,
Sure. They have it all.
Crop top.
Crop tops. They have crop tops.
crop top.
Didn't you
muffin
want
tops.
us to get crop tops for
I
Simple
did.
Minds? You know what the fuck they were called. You just
I
wanted
forgot
us
I had
to
a brain
come up-
fart. I had a brain fart. I'm
So
sorry.
remember when he tried us to get us to buy crop tops
crop
for
tops
Simple
and
Minds
tank
Sports Show?
tops. Yeah.
Jesus.
What an idiot.
Those might still be. Stay tuned. They might be coming later.
Becoming springtime.
It depends on how big Ray's fupa gets. He wanted the crop top for himself because t-shirts escaping over the
Crop
Over
top,
the
muffin
belly.
top, baby.
I like the belly
Hello.
showing. Sorry.
yeah, it's nice. Woohoo! So White Birch is available in your local beer stores. If you pick it up, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. Head on down to the brewery. Tell them we sent you. White Birch Brewing. Red Sox. This is Tuesday, the 13th. We are recording on Sunday. On Sunday, they beat the Orioles
Mm-hmm.
to get 6 straight wins, 6-3, first place overall. First time they've held that solely. Ray, if you need to take a nap, feel free.
No,
Since
wrestling's on. He's going to be up till midnight.
September of 2018, they are 5th in the majors in RBIs. They're 8th in home runs, 5th in OPS, 5th in slugging. Their pitching staff is 1st in home runs allowed at only 4. This is as of Sunday. That might have
They gave up
changed.
3 today.
Shut up, Bill. 10th in ERA, 21st in hits allowed. Nathan Evaldi has a 1.46 ERA. JD Martinez is on pace for 300 home runs, hitting 433, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. Bogart's at 355. Vasquez at the catching position, 394. Couple dingers and some RBIs. Are they this good, Bill? Are they this good?
No, again, we got to kind of temper our expectations here. I mean, it's a good start. This is what you wanted coming off of that abysmal 2020 season. You know, you got a hot start after you scored 69 runs in the last six
Nice.
wins, 5 in the 3 losses. So I mean, this temper them a little bit. They're not this good. I think they're still going to be a middling team. There's still a lot of question marks, especially in the pitching side. Now they're somewhere in the middle. I think they're a 500 team. So I mean, they're just off to a hot start. But again, this is what we need to see right out of the gate. Get Cora some fucking some respect here now. I've coming back. Quick 6-3 start.
Ray, is it at all anything other than playing the Orioles for 6 games, 3 of which they lost, and the Rays off a World Series hangover and losing not half, but call it half their good starting pitching staff, not
They
being
lost
able to
their
go
2
sign.
number 1 and number 2 starting.
Yeah, they lost
pitchers.
1A and 1B. So
Yeah.
is it anything beyond that? I know that you are down on this team. Can
I
you
am.
find anything beyond the fact that they've played kind of the dregs of the AL East to start this season?
Oh, but like you guys said, like all along, the bats have been woken up. I mean, the first 3 games they weren't there. That's why Evaldi got his first loss, because you couldn't get a fucking runner to score. But other than that, the bats are woken up. JD Martinez, what does he have? 8, 9 home runs now in the season, something stupid like that.
He's at 4 or 5. I think he's at 5.
Six.
5 or 6. He had 3
Yes.
today. So
Yeah,
he's
so yes.
5.
Well, in 8 games that called 5 home runs, but he's at like 16 RB. Yeah, he's literally on pace for like 316 RBIs or
And
something.
I
That's
think
stupid.
he just has like 8 games in a row with extra base hit, which is I think just tied the MLB record with A-Rod and someone else.
Yeah, I think he put 3 home runs out today because he wasn't
And a
hitting home.
double.
Right, but he was mashing. He's hitting over 400, but they weren't going out of the park. He was hitting for extra base hits and driving guys in. Today, Sunday, as we're recording this, he bumped that home run total up there. I think he's at 5 or 6. But
Yeah, and you're seeing power to the opposite field. He had 2 of all of last year. Has 3 right this year to start in the first 8 games. So that opposite field power is coming back.
I tuned in. Here's going to be a little venting from me. I have been trying to get the Red Sox on a screen to watch other than ESPN or the watching the dots go around the your screen. I haven't been able to watch the Red Sox live yet because of the situation that I am in. So I went and I pulled it. They were mid game, like 4th inning. I went and I pulled the trigger and I bought the MLB package for the Red Sox, 100 whatever bucks. I put it under a name, see if you can watch, Ray. But word to the wise, they black out games. This happened to me the other day. I don't remember if I did it on the show. Or
blackout
games
games when you're supposed to watch every fucking game. This is horseshit.
I bought the NHL package. The night I bought it, they're playing the Capitals, which is DC is an hour and 15 minutes from me. They wouldn't let me watch it because that was the home team, I guess. Same thing happened today. I bought the MLB package. They're playing the Orioles. They blacked the fucking game out. I'm an hour from Baltimore. How am I supposed to watch baseball without buying into Comcast's fucking monopoly and paying $300 a month? And I couldn't even do that here. I couldn't watch the Red Sox if I had Comcast here because I can't watch out of market. Do people not understand? It's 2021 and we all just don't live in caves near our local teams. It's a global fucking community. Nesson, you pieces of shit. Anyway, I piggybacked off my cousin's Fubu account, or For Us by You. I don't think that's what it's called. And I tuned in just in time to see JD Martinez literally flick his wrist and pop it 399 feet over the right field wall.
It's hard to do. It's a nice feat to see.
Yeah, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a long story of me venting to say that JD Martinez is on fire. And, you just said it, Bill. He's spraying it all over the field. But when a guy just flicks his wrist and he gets it out of the park opposite field, he's feeling it. That's the zone that he's in. And I think it's the zone that the team's in. And just to give you my answer on it, I think this is not my optimism that it's turned through. I think they're going to be better than we think. It just depends on if things go right. Things do have to go right. I don't think they have the depth to withstand a lot of injuries, especially pitching-wise.
Pitching-wise, definitely.
And they are a lot of question marks. They're one E-Rod slip in the shower, losing his Tin Man heart again from from going from an 84 win team to a 74 win team. They're one Eovaldi, bad
That's
stretch.
the first one that's going to come. I give it 2 weeks and he's done.
He's gonna have like a 7.4 ERA for 3 starts.
He's
Get
had 2
absolutely
Tommy John
demolished.
surgeries. He's broke his forearm like twice. That he had bone spurts taken out of his elbow twice. This guy is a fucking walking wounded. Him and Garrett Richards. They're both the same. One and the same with his Cummins arm injuries. One throws 100 miles an hour. The other one throws like 84.
I have some thoughts on that, but let me ask this question first, and let me go to Ray first, as the baseball mind that he is. What has been your biggest surprise of the early Boston Red Sox season?
The 2 starting pitchers, Nathan Eovaldi and Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, Eovaldi's 1-1, 1.46 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs. I mean, he's not supposed to be the ace of the squad, but yet he's pitching like one. And then Erod, missed all last year, comes back, pitched 5 innings. I thought that he was going to have a shit game, give up a ton of runs. I mean, his ERA is, I believe, 4 or 5.4, but he looked good. I mean, he didn't look like he missed a year of fucking pitching. So that was a nice, refreshing thing to see. Biggest surprise is those 2 guys, carrying this rotation right now.
Bill, you could probably put the biggest surprise on the entire starting rotation. You could even, if you want to throw Richards in there for a second start, feel free. I had that stat the last show. If you took out Richards' start in the first 4 games, it was like 2.3 ERA for the starting pitcher, which is one time through, which is whatever. Hitters need a chance to get used to the game, and we saw what the Red Sox hitters look like in the first series. So it's not saying everything, but I don't know. If you were to pick a surprise, you got to go pitching staff somewhere, right?
Yeah, I do definitely pitching. I mean, I didn't expect them to start off, especially 6-3 with the pitching. I mean, looking in, they look like they had one of the worst starting rotations in all of baseball entering the season. And I mean, they kind of squashed that a little bit, but again, it's early. They're only going 5 innings, which is really kind of annoying me. I think Nick Pivetta made it into the 6th today. I think he went 6 with four earned. But I mean, you're taxing the bullpen early in the season, and the pitching as a whole. I love Matt Barnes. I think he's a retired 13 out of 15 or 16 batters he's faced. His fastball's got movement. He's knowing how to pitch. He's mixing his curveball. You're seeing the closer now. So I mean the starting rotation. I want to throw Matt Barnes in there too, because I think the bullpen throughout today. I think the bullpen's been pleasantly surprising to me, because I think Garrett Whitlock looks good, and Andrize got a save last night. I believe Saturday night when Matt Barnes got the win because they went an extra innings.
Yeah.
So I mean, those you kind of see
4 runs.
So I mean, that's where I am. I think the pitching is definitely. I expected the offense to mash. I expected JD to rebound. I expect Xander to kind of do what he's doing. He's going to hit between 300, 330, somewhere in that range, and that's right where he is. So I can't really say the offense is too much of a surprise. The pitching is the reason you're right there with your ERA outside your offense.
Can I throw something out at you that I didn't send you a question in the email? Ray, you brought it up with Eovaldi, and I think you guys know my stance on Eovaldi. I think he's a bullpen guy.
Eovaldi, I love how you call him that. Eovaldi.
Eovaldi. I think he's a bullpen guy. I think he would be dynamite as a bullpen guy, and I honestly think for his career he should make himself a bullpen guy. Bill, you just said it. Like you're just waiting for that guy's not making 30 starts. Like, who are we kidding here? He's not making 30
you're lucky
starts.
To get 20 out of Eovaldi this year, because his track record is just not good. When they traded for him in 2018, he got hurt, he sucked, and then he came on in the playoffs, and this is the reason he's here. I mean, he was shut down in the playoffs. Especially
But he was fucking awesome in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's got balls. Like he is the guy.
The talent's there.
He can get you 6-9 outs if you want him to. Put him in that 8th, 9th inning role. Like you sent Tanner Houck back down to Worcester. You got Nick Pivetta. You got young kids up here that should be getting some starting pitching time. So let's see what Garrett Whitlock turns into. I don't want to call him more than what he is, but that's 3 young guys right there that I think belong in your starting rotation. That if you're not going to win the World Series this year, then why aren't you molding your team to be what it should be in the future? And I get you're paying Eovaldi $17 million, and that's not bullpen money, but it's close to closer money. Like throw that guy with Ottavino and Matt Barnes, and you're looking at a 6, 7, 8, 9 inning rotation that's pretty
The nerds
goddamn
would
good.
love that.
I'm not.
The nerds
high.
would love
Adam
that.
Ottavino has not looked good this year. I mean, he blew the hold last night. Gave up 2 runs. You know, you bring him in with the 7 innings. He gave up 2 runs, tied the game. I think they actually fucking took the lead. So I mean, I'm not. I haven't been high on him this year, and especially going back to last year's. I think he's given up like 16 or 17 runs and like.
This point was not about Ottavino. It was about Eovaldi and putting him in a position where I think he'd be successful. But that honestly is a story for another day. What I really want to talk about is where does the bottom fall out? What happens for this team to go into a rut where I get to flip flop and bash the shit out of them? What does that look like?
It's the pitching.
May I go first, Bill?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nope. It's the hitting. You saw the first 3 games. The hitters were quiet. The bats weren't fucking going. You weren't producing runs, and these pitchers can't win these games for you. So if the bats go quiet, you're going to go into this big rut.
Hey, I agree with you, Ray.
Wow. Hey. Thanks.
I
Find
agree.
a rut though. You get swept. Is that a rut?
Yep. You can't afford to get swept as this team because you've won 6 straight. Do we honestly think this is the team that can win 6 straight consistently this year? You know, that would be a big surprise. If that's the case, Bill, you're talking about a 95 win team. If this is the team that we're thinking about, and we don't think that that's them. I mean, 85 is the watermark, right? Like that's where we would like to see him get to and fight for a playoff.
Yeah, 83,
So
85. Yeah.
I've listened to it on Maz's baseball show. If you win 4 out of 7 games all season long, you're a 93 win team. That's the division. They're not that team.
No, there's no
So-
way. And
To answer your point, and I'll let you go. Yeah, if you get swept, that's a rut. You can't get swept. Like you gotta pick one out. You gotta grab one because you're not that good of a team. And I agree with Ray. If your batting goes to shit, if you can't put up 4 or 5 runs, consistently, that over 3 or 4 games, 5 games, yeah, that's a rut. And then you're going to find yourself in a hole that's going to be really hard to dig yourself out of because you're not talented enough to do it.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one is I think they're going to mash all year. You're going to run into the Garrett Coles and the aces here and there, but it's pitching. Pitching was the biggest question mark entering the season. Pitching is still the biggest question mark now. I just said it was the biggest surprise that you're 6-3. Yeah, because they've been pitching good. Their staff ERA's pretty low. I mean, throw out today, your starter ERA is between 2 and 3 now. I mean, you got a little roughed up, but pitching, because if you can't, you're going to start facing some good lineups coming up. The Twins are one of them. 2 years ago they set the major league record for home runs. They haven't changed that much since. So I mean, this is what you got to do. You got to shut these teams down because I think your offense is going to be there. If you're only scoring 2-3 runs a game, if you have good pitchers, you should be able to overcome that. I mean, shit, look at fucking DeGrom over there in the Mets. Gives them 1 run, and then they fucking, you know what I mean? So it's
But isn't that the point? They don't have good pitching. That's Ray's
that's
point.
what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's why I'm saying where you want the bottom to fall out is pitching, because this team's going to mash all year. Xander, Christian Vasquez hitting 5th now, and fucking JD right up there.
Okay, let me lay a scenario for you. The pitching staff holds at a 3.75 4 ERA. They're going 5-6 innings. They're letting in 3-4 runs. If your lineup fails to produce that, then you lose. And that's the type of pitching staff that you have. So if your pitching staff cannot hold that high 3, low 4 ERA on a regular basis, then yeah, they I guess they haven't done their job. But we're not expecting the Red Sox pitching staff to come out there and not allow 3 or 4 runs. That's what we expect every single night. So Ray's point and my point is you're going to fall into the rut if the bats can't keep up with that production from the pitching staff, which is about 4 runs a night. That's probably what you should expect from this staff from the Red Sox. Yeah, if they go into shitter and they start giving up 7, no shit. But I think Ray's right.
I think a lot of those guys are closer to going giving up 6 or 7 than 3 or 4. Truthfully, that's just my opinion.
Not as a staff. You're not going to be a 6 ERA staff. You're going to be a low 4 ERA staff. That's the expectations of it. And if they meet their qualifications, your bats should be scoring 6 runs a game. And if they don't, that's when you're going to fall into a rut. That's when you're going to lose.
Makes sense.
I think that that's probably accurate. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they'll probably go into a stretch where the pitching staff is just
Oh,
absolutely
absolutely.
Well, like I said,
abysmal.
Richards
Which is my
Eovaldi are
next.
going to get hurt. So
Well, that's my next question. They can't afford any injuries, right? Like that. Their pitching depth is so weak that if anything happens, like Erod goes down the opening day, it's like fuck, season's over. Like
yeah, Tanner Hawk's your only. I mean, you have Brian Mata, but it seems like they like him bullpen stuff. I mean, he's your only guy really. I mean, who's Groom?
no,
For
they got no
Grom,
one.
they
The
have
quick
nobody.
answer is they got no
They
one.
have
The
nobody.
Seabold kid that they got with Pavetta that looked okay, but
Who's that German kid they got from the Yankees? That was like a legit prospect in that Adam Ottavino deal. But
pretty sure it was Hans.
Was it Hans?
No, that's
Hans
just the only
Gruber?
German name.
That's the guy from that's the guy from Die Hard.
I think it's German. Didn't he have like a substance abuse or some kind of abuse problem?
That was Jermaine, the other Yankees pitcher. He beat up his wife, got suspended like 85 games or some shit like that.
Pretty sure they're spelled exactly the same. What's the biggest weakness? So if the hitting stalls, they're in trouble. If the pitching gets injury, if there's injuries in the pitching staff, they're in trouble. If everything goes correct and nothing bad happens and everyone does what they're supposed to do, where's the biggest weakness of the team? I think it's defense. I think defensively they're kind of fucking trash.
Yeah, I mean, Rafael Devers is probably the worst third baseman in the league. You know,
Check your first baseman too.
Dahlbach, yeah, I mean, he's a third baseman, and they kind of switched him over. I don't.
But Devers only is bad in April. Apparently, after April, he's fine. He has the most errors in April, and
Yeah,
then
that's
after
fine.
that,
he makes 19 in April, and then he just goes clean the rest of the year. Great.
Yeah.
It only loses you 12 games.
12 games, yeah.
You lose the division by a half. But no, look, Franchy Cordero and you're not. Marwin Gonzalez is okay. Your outfield
They
is
love Gonzalez. They've been using him everywhere.
and that's fine. But there's nobody. I mean, look, I'm not one to take a step back, and I'm not huge fans of these guys. But you went from Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts, probably top three, maybe the best defensive outfield in the majors, to Franchy Cordero, Alex Verdugo, who holds his own, I guess, and whoever else they want, Marwin Gonzalez, JD Martinez, whoever else they're going to throw out in the outfield.
Kiki Hernandez.
Kiki Hernandez. I'm not saying these guys are terrible. I don't think they're terrible, but they're certainly not Gold Glove world class. You got Xander Bogaerts, who I love as a player, but he's not a Gold Glove shortstop. I don't even know who's playing second base from time to time. Aruba, what the fuck is the guy's name?
Something like that. But
Acuna,
gets most of the starts.
Devers has his problems, and then you got third baseman playing first. Christian Vasquez is a stud. Other than that, I think you got mediocre to question marks around the entire field on defense, and it clearly cost them in the first series of the season here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Vasquez earlier, putting some respect on him. I mean, he throws out over 50% of his guys. He's the only guy on your team that could potentially sniff a Gold Glove. That's concerning. That's for sure.
I think that's right, and I don't even think he has a shot, but I think that's right.
He's so underrated. Like a buddy of mine asked me this. He's like, you only have like 2+ players. And I was like, oh, Vasquez. And he's like, he's a plus catcher. I'm like, yeah, dude, he's at 275, 280. He's hitting power now. They've got him batting 5th. Opening day, I think he was batting 8th, 7th or 8th. Yeah. Now he's all the way up to 5th. I mean, he's past Rafael Devers too. So I mean, he's your only hope to win a Gold Glove.
What was his big knock coming? He couldn't call a decent game.
Yeah, who was it? Chris Sale had his personal catcher. He didn't like Vasquez, and then I think Veritek got him under his wing, and now these guys like rant and rave about him. Like defensively,
he always had an arm. He was always throwing people out, and I think as a blocker, he was okay. I think he's improved on that too. But I think that, yeah, I think that's right. I think that the pitching staff had a problem with the way that he called games. They didn't like the way his mind for the game, which is, I don't know, whatever. You get a 275 and 20 home runs at a catching spot.
That's a win.
Sign me up, dude.
That's a win. I mean, you think about most catchers are hitting 220, 230. JT Realmuto's good. Mitch Garter up there in Minnesota and Sean Murphy are the only other real ones that are going to hit for decent average. And then you got Vasquez in that mix. Again, he needs to be up these ranks a lot higher. You know, I mean, it's from where he started. Again, he was a number 8, number 9 hitter going back 3 years ago. You know, he was batting 8th in front of Jackie Bradley. Now he's the 5th hitter and hitting for fucking power. He's hitting all fields. He's not just pulling the ball. I mean, he's
Yeah, he doesn't.
transformation at hitting for him has been way more than anything we've seen with his glove at catcher.
He doesn't hit
honestly.
cheap home runs. That's for sure.
Mm.
Ray, does he dye his hair? Doesn't he look a little bit like weird?
I think he's bald.
Is he bald?
He's bald.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I gotta pull up a picture now. Ray, what are the other weaknesses? So
I had
Obviously-
pitching depth. Pitching depth. I mean, you got Erod, who would probably should be a third, fourth starter on any other major league team. Evaldi, like you said, should be in the bullpen. Chris Sale is your ace, and he's going to be out till at least August. But other than that, these are all head scratchers that you put in there. Bill said it before that this bullpen looked on paper like at the worst bullpen in the or starters in the whole major league. But yeah, I think that's the biggest weakness. If one of these guys goes down, you are royally fucked.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he's a
mine, too.
ginger. I think that's what makes me.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, he is a ginger.
He is
You're
like
all
a-
right. He's like a Spanish ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, right? Is he Puerto Rican? That's where he's
Uh,
from. Somewhere down there, or Colombia, Venezuela, something like that.
can you see that?
That's a ginger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
red.
what was weird.
He
Yeah.
looks like Craig Kimbrell with that ginger beard. Not like look like
Anyway.
him, but that's that ginger beard. Craig Kimbrell used to have that shit too. Then he shaved his beard with the Cubs, and it looks weird as fuck.
Oh man, I tell you what. Sorry, Vasquez. I know you're listening, but keep that beard going because that's a rough look.
Oh,
That's why you wear a beard, boys or girls.
oh.
Hide
That's
that
why
shit.
That's why you do the beard. Yeah,
No,
you're
but-
right. I mean, pitching is certainly on the list, Bill.
Yeah, that's where I am. Pitching depth. You know, again, I expect Richards to go down. I expect Evaldi to go down. You know, Erod, I expect him to make a lot of starts, but that's it. Nick Pivetta, I mean, he's really unknown. You know, he had a couple good starts in Philly. He's won 5 straight with the Sox, but I just too many question marks with the pitching, especially the depth. These guys start going down. I mean, you've seen Bloom kind of go the cheap end to get these guys. You kind of passed up a lot of Corey Kluber that you probably could have offered more money, and chose the likes of Garrett Richards for $10.5 million. You know, that's our depth. Tanner Hawk. That's it. That's where you're at. Then you're thinking about the shit we had last year. Ryan Webster, whatever his fucking name was, Josh Taylor. all
That
these
was bad.
Fucking Bryce, who gave up like 12 runs today in the fucking against the Orioles when they brought him in. This is the shit. This is what you're gonna look for. The pitching staff you had last year, that's the depth this year. So that's what you gotta
Okay,
look at.
let me skip ahead here. So if this team can maintain this path, and by this path I mean, winning 4-7 and being on a trajectory for 90 wins instead of 80 wins, should Chaim Bloom change his approach? And I'm assuming that his approach is the same that he took into the offseason in terms of throwing shit against the wall, finding deals in the rough where people don't want to look. Garrett Richards at 10 million, or trading Andrew Benintendi for guys that you've never heard of, picking up a Whitlock on a Rule 5, those type of deals that you expect to see from the Tampa Bay Rays. If this team can get themselves in a position close to the midseason where they're fighting for the division, should they turn into the Boston Red Sox and go get somebody legitimate? Especially, obviously, I'm thinking about pitching. If there's somebody out there, that's shedding salary, go get them, pay the money and go get them.
You
Yep.
have to. You have to. Now, you think about Bloom. He's never had the money before coming from Tampa. I mean, but the
Let me
problem
add
is-
this. Sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt you. Let me add this. Kenny, does he have the ability?
No.
I think he has the ability, but he doesn't have the talent on the team to do it. He doesn't have the talent in the minors to do it. That's the problem with this team. So I mean, you're seeing why that he might skimp out on these big deals because you don't have enough to give. The only thing you really have a trade asset right now, I mean, you could probably ship Dahlbach off, but you're going to give up on him in 1 year. You know, I mean, your biggest trade asset is JD Martinez. So if you're in the middle of the fucking thick of things for the division, you're not going to trade him. You know, entering this season, he was it. You're going to go to the All-Star break and you're going to think of really trading him. So what else do you have to move? Maybe the Whitlock kid, but if he's going to be, he's going to come like we've seen the first week of the season?
Well,
then-
that's where the rubber meets the road, Ray. Like this is what I'm asking. Now, I haven't done any of this research, so I'm just going to throw a name at you that really doesn't make sense. Max Scherzer, who just signed an extension in Washington. If your Washington Nationals go to shit, and Max Scherzer for some reason wants out, or call it whoever you want. Verlander comes back from injury, looks good, and wants to get some veteran pitcher that has credentials and is looking to win. Do you give up on some of these young guys that have come in and play, the Huak or the Whitlocks or whoever that might, Jeter Downs? You're not going to throw him in a deal, I get that, but whoever. My point is, do you sell like in the Dombrowski age to make a push this year, or are you fully engaged in rebuilding a system and a team to build it up from the farm system and be competing in 2 or 3 years, as opposed to making a run out of it now? That's where the hard decision comes in, right?
Yeah, the three of us would all agree, like, win now, like trade whoever you got to get. If you're in the wild card or you're in the hunt for the AL East title, yeah, you trade whatever you got to do to make that run. But I think Chaim Bloom's going to stay pat, and he's going to just build up that farm system. I think you're going to see small moves, and that's going to be it. You're going to see him build that, because like Bill says, you have nothing to trade right now. When you're a great major league team, you have things to trade off. Like, you'll have a farm system, the top 100 prospects in there. You'll have those guys, but right now you have nothing. So when it comes to trade, you can't do anything.
Let me phrase this differently. You're a game out of first place of the AL East. It's September 1st or whatever. It's September 1st. And and Max Scherzer's having a great year. And the Nationals say, give me Garrett Whitlock, Tanner Houck, and Connor Wong, the catcher prospect, and whatever. And we'll give you Scherzer to make your push for the World Series. And Chris Sale's come back and looked okay. Do you make a push for the World Series this year, or do you stand pat and continue to build your team, which you haven't done with the Dombrowski era?
Stand pat.
You have to identify that at the trade deadline, which is the 31st of July. Not, so if you're out one out
Fuck
there, I mean,
you, Bill. I said September 1st. Whatever. That was me saying.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You're
dates
gonna
don't
July
matter.
31st. That was you saying July 31st.
I can't get the date right on the show the day we do the show. You want me to identify the MLB trade deadline months in advance in a hypothetical situation where Max Scherzer is coming to the Red Sox for a couple prospects that no one knows anything about? Come on, dude. Work with me.
I mean, I'd like to see it, but I'm a twofold, because I kind of want to see him just build a farm system. I don't think this team's going to be that good, truthfully. I mean, I get it. Some people are all fucking high on it. I think they're a 500 team. So I would rather see him build long term than the win now mode, truthfully, because you've seen what happened. You're in win now mode. You won a World Series in 2018. You had so much talent on that team. 3 years later, you don't have anywhere near the talent to compete. You had 108 wins that you sold out to win that World Series. Now you're reaping the rewards of this World Series by a depleted farm system. You need to build this shit back up. You need to get cheaper deals in there. You need to play for next year. I fully expect this to be a bridge year. So the deals that he's going to make, I fully expect JD Martinez to be shopped heavily. I don't think this team, again, 80 wins, 85 wins at the most. I just don't. I'd like to see him trip for the wild card, but I don't think it's going to be there. So build long term, not just this year, because you're not going to be good enough to win the World Series this year, especially in the out west. Those teams are fucking strong in the NL, out west, the East. There's a lot of strong teams in the NL too. So I mean, think about where you're at. Think about where the Dodgers are at. Think about where fucking the Braves are. The Mets got better. The Nats are still there. I mean, all these teams in the NL. So you even get to the World Series, I don't think you're there. I don't think you're that a good enough team. You need to start comparing yourself to these teams, and that's where you need to build. And they're not there to do it.
All right, I get that. I think you took my hypothetical less than literally.
It's fucking baseball. You can't give him a hypothetical.
September 1st just threw him off. It's July 1st, so you need to make that decision by July 30th. Reverse course. We don't have to go too far into it. We're long. I actually have no idea how long we've been doing this. I'm completely thrown off today. If they suck, if they're in no contention for the playoffs, if they're in no contention to do anything, they are disappointing. I have officially, I've come to the point of snapped on July 30th and say that this team is a piece of shit. Do you move the likes of Xander Bogaerts? Is Xander Bogaerts ever going to be capital T, capital H, capital E, the guy on the Boston Red Sox to bring them a World Series, to step into that Pedroia, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez? Is Xander Bogaerts ever going to be that guy? And if they suck, do you move him?
No, you keep him. He's one of your cornerstones of this team, along with JD Martinez. Those are your two star fuckers, and I'm a star fucker, so you keep him at all costs. I don't trade him, even if you can get the most out of him. No, you keep him and trade everyone else. I think he's like Jason Tatum. He's one of those untouchables. You can't really get rid of him right now.
No
I'm with
and
Ray
no.
and Bill. And Bill, you said you wanted to move JD Martinez, and I'm thinking more and more that he's going to be. I don't know what exactly you get for him, and you got to be for me to move JD Martinez. I'm not moving Xander Bogart, so sorry I've shifted the
I'm not
conversation. But
moving Xander at all.
so let's move it to JD. If you want to move JD, it's going to be a haul, or you have to suck really bad, because
think
you've seen how important he is to this team, and you got him in the system for 2 more years, so or 1 more this year and next year.
This year and next year, yep.
So
Yeah, you might see it in the offseason, especially if you're competing. I know where you're kind of getting at, but yeah, I mean, I would expect a haul. You know, I mean, you look around the league, kind of look around some playoff teams. You know, you don't have the universal DH, so kind of throw out the NL. You know what I mean? So I mean, you got to look around the teams that need offense. That's where you're going to start shopping. And the first thing I'm asking is a young pitching in return. So give me a fucking haul. I mean, if you're having an MVP caliber start to your season right now, I expect this to prolong through the season just based off his track record. You know, throw out last year, but that's MVP caliber numbers. He finished what, third or fifth in the 2018 MVP.
Yeah.
Hit 40 or 38 home runs the next year.
would have won it if you played defense. You didn't
He
play.
would have won it, I think. Mookie
Mookie
there.
won it.
Mookie won it. So I mean, but JD almost won the Triple Crown. So
Yep.
I mean, that's where that is. But I mean, you see when he's healthy and he's on his game, he's worth the fucking haul.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's where I'm moving him, and I expect him to be gone. Truthfully, I think he's your biggest bargaining chip, and get a haul of young pitching. Pitching's gonna win. You don't have no homegrown talent. You haven't had a homegrown pitcher since John Lester and Jonathan Papelbon. That's really Buck Holtz is in there. That mold too. But that's it.
Yep.
That's fucking it.
Yeah, I agree. I would anything coming back. If you're moving, if you're doing anything, to boil this whole conversation down, I think the Red Sox are going to be consistently hanging around this year. Probably not disappoint us at one point. But I'm not moving on from our big players unless you get something back that you know is going to be substantial in the young pitching department.
Yeah,
and
that's where you should target.
That's
and
kind
Adam
of
Ottavino is going to be moved too.
That's kind of where I'm at. All right, let's just look ahead quickly. I know we're only 8 games into the season, so like you said, Ray, it's just the Orioles, it's just the Rays. Got the Twins coming up, got the White Sox coming up, got the Blue Jays coming up, and then it kind of goes soft again. And I know the Twins won their division. I know we're high on the White Sox, but they're not the Dodgers and the Yankees.
We were high on the White Sox before they lost Eloy, though.
Yeah, I know.
out
No,
now.
look. These are good teams. Twins and the White Sox, and no one to. They're much better than the Orioles. And
They
if
got
the
good
Red Sox
pitching, too.
don't win a game for 7 straight, I will not be surprised. But I'm just saying they're not the cream of the crop. They're upper echelon for sure. And after that, their schedule gets real soft again. So I don't know. What are your expectations of the Red Sox over the next, call it 2 weeks?
Bill, I have a quick question. Do you have the Twins Byron Buxton on your fantasy team?
I do not, but I think he just got hurt.
Nope, he did not. He in 8 games he has 5 home runs, just like JD Martinez. So yeah, finally this pitching staff's going to face a real threat. But I actually have a sequence of dates where I know this team's going to fall off the wagon. Starting
feel
off,
free.
they are starting on May 14th. They play 3 games against the Angels. Then May 18th, they play 3 games against the Blue Jays. May 21st, the 3 games against the Phillies. May 25th, Bills Braves for 2. That is when the 11-game snide begins.
So you got what is Angels, Blue Jays,
Phillies, and Braves.
Phillies.
The Phillies are like, nah, but Bills Braves.
Angels either. I'm not.
Angels are second in the AL West right now.
I'm not high on them. It's 8
I would
games, 9
argue that
games
this
into the season.
stretch coming up, it's going to be harder than that with the Twins
Well,
and the White Sox and the
we'll
Blue
find out.
Jays.
The Twins are fucking loaded, and they're missing Josh Donaldson too, so he's ready to come back. I mean, that they hit 1 through 9 in that lineup. Luis Arias is leading off there, dude. He'll hit 350, win a batting title. Their team is fucking deep in the lineup.
Let's put it this way. If they come out of this stretch with the Twins and the White Sox with a winning record, Ray has to show us his nipples on camera
Okay.
and flick them and say, Red Sox are my daddy.
Okay.
There. All right. This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition. Are the Red Sox good? Question mark. April 14th. 13th. Tuesday 13th. Yeah, that's correct. That plays. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a grind, Ray. Good for you. Are you just desperately waiting to turn on the People's Elbow show?
Nope.
No?
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Get the replay.
How long is this thing?
Yesterday was 4 hours.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ, that's 8. You gotta watch 8 hours of wrestling.
No, I'm not going to. I fast forward through a lot of it yesterday. There's some
What do you-
boring ass messages.
What kind of stuff do you fast forward through?
There's the women's tag team turmoil match that I fast
I'm
forward.
surprised you would fast forward through that.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
you do? Realize that you can't get hard anymore in the first 30 seconds? Like, fuck this?
And then there's a rapper, Bad Bunny. Never heard of him.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere.
He was fighting. I didn't really watch that much, but it was actually pretty good. He was pretty entertaining.
They said he was like the best celebrity
Wrestler that they've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny was
Who the fuck? I thought Bad Bunny was that chick from fucking Dr. Phil. Catch Me Outside. I thought that was.
That's
that
Bad Barbie. Barbie.
Oh, sorry.
And she has an OnlyFans now. Apparently, she made $1 million in 9
Catch Me
hours.
Outside. How about that? That was her, right?
$1 million 9 hours. How's the Paige Van
Gotta be
Zandt
some-
OnlyFans page going?
I
Ray?
haven't looked yet.
How much
No.
is that?
$9.99.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah, I know. Company credit card, baby. Here we go.
I
It's
know
in the
girls
mail.
we went to high school with have more expensive OnlyFans.
Wait. What? Stop recording.
Hold on. See you later.